you're a psychic medium and you're going to be able to use your abilities to figure out who your husband is.
So today I'm going to be doing a story time on how I opened up my psychic abilities too soon and told my husband this.
I think we're going to get married. Look, I know we're going to get married.
But then I'll also be talking about how I don't do readings now due to these 3Ds.
Death, disaster.
And we'll be talking about karmic life lessons as well, so stay tuned for that.
So if you were a psychic medium, would you use your abilities to figure out who was the person that you were supposed to marry? Well, I'm here to tell you, don't do that. You do not want that. All right, so I'm a psychic medium, as most of you guys know, and I have a very unique story as to how I met my husband. So the year was 2014, and I had been going through a very turbulent time in my situation and where I wanted to live, school, and also a very turbulent relationship at the time. Now, if you would have asked me back then, like, Steffany, you're a psychic medium and you're going to be able to use your abilities to figure out who your husband is, I would tell you, you are crazy, that doesn't exist, and you need to go see a doctor. Well, that was me. Okay, so like I was telling you guys already, I'd been attending these psychic circles for like several months. So to my surprise, when it was springtime and I saw this guy, his name is Carl, that is my husband, but at the time, we all didn't know it, okay? So here comes in this guy who looks so handsome. And keep in mind that that is very not like me. So I'm the type of person that when I develop feelings for an individual, it has to be purely off of like feelings. It goes beyond just, oh, I'm attracted, so forth. Take it how you will with that. I personally don't like to invest too much time with titles with it. And so when he sat down in that circle, my heart was racing. I was like, I gotta get out of here. I feel really weird. Like I was also hearing like this very like old song that I couldn't put my finger on. I was just like, what is this? What am I hearing? Again, psychic circle. I was like, what is this? I gotta leave. Felt so uncomfortable. And I would just an anxious episode, if you will, with this. So I really like this product. I've used Morphe highlighter. But anyways, so I did not reflect on it. And it would be several weeks until I would approach him. I avoided him like the plague, okay? I just did not want to talk to him. I always felt like my heart was racing. This would go on for like about a month, give or take, okay? And so this one day, our mentor is like, okay, so we're going to do pairs. We're not going to do the psychic circle. We're going to do pairs. And I had one partner that wasn't him. And then before I knew it, it was my turn to sit with him. And I told the person that was coming towards my direction, no, don't come here. I'm going to sit in this spot. You're going to go sit with that guy. And the guy's like, oh, weird. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Okay, so I use a Rare Beauty blush. Love this. Very cute. Very, very cute. Okay, so here he notices it, but he doesn't say anything. And I'm like, all right, I probably like made myself seem very unfriendly to him, but so be it. So be it. I mean, another couple of weeks, and I decided that I would have the courage to walk up to him because this was just nonsense. Like, why am I avoiding a fellow psychic circle classmate of mine? That's just weird. I'm gonna use Ulta Beauty. I got a little bag with this. I probably should put the primer on before, but I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna deal with it, okay? I'm not a makeup expert. I just figured this would be a fun story time to tell. Fast forward, we are in a psychic circle, and I finally am picking up like what I've been picking up for months. I give him a reading. I said, I'm gonna reach out to you after this class, and I'm gonna approach you. So then the class ends. It wraps up. Look, it's me. Okay, so then like I decide to walk up to him after class, but I don't walk up to him, guys. Not like a normal person. No. I get in my vehicle and I drive up behind him. Like I wait for him to walk out because he was looking for extra cash to pay our mentor for the class, right? Because it's a class, so you have to pay for it. And I'm like, okay, now's my chance. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna get in my car. That way, if he ignores me or he's busy, I'm in my car. It's not embarrassing. He's not gonna notice me being weird. So here I'm in my car. I take a big sip of this Sprite. The Sprite from a fountain drink Sprite that I had. Gross, but that was my way to seem cool and sly, you know what I mean? So I walk up to him, or I drive up to him, if you will, and I'm like, "Hi, I don't know your name." And I was like, "What was your name?" And he's like, "Carl." And I laugh. Please don't. I know it was kind of mean. I laugh. I'm like, "No, really, what was your name?" And he's like, "Carl." I'm like, "No, no, no. The man of my dreams is not going to have this name." At the time I thought this. I know. So then, I know. But you know what? We're married now. Karma got me, right? Okay, so he's like, "Yeah, it's Carl." Like, Carl with a K. I was like, "Oh, Carl with a K." Okay. So I, proceeded to ask him, like, "Hey, do you like, I'm scoping out. I'm trying to get the vibe here. Do we have enough in common? Is this just a no-go? Was I just imagining things? Because I'm feeling this connection already, which is so bizarre to me. I did not flirt with him or anything. I was very professional, very cordial, just like trying to catch up with him on the psychic circle and what was happening. So I also use Rare Beauty mascara. It's kind of dirty. Don't judge me. Okay. I throw it in my bag when I'm done, and I don't have a chance to wipe it off. So we're talking, and I'm over here trying to like gauge with him. But part of the reading, you guys, I'm not going to disclose all the reading because it's personal in that case. But I was like, "Hey, so I actually saw this movie that I love when I was like picking up on a reading with you. I don't want to say the whole thing, but it's a Studio Ghibli film. Do you know that?" And it's also me testing him, but I'm also giving him a reading. And he's like, "No, actually, I don't know. Like, I watch anime and stuff. Like, I'm familiar with some things, but I don't think I've seen that one." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's what I got." So I'm over here, like, asking him about this movie. And I said, "Okay, well, I feel like it really resonates with you." And so anyway, so we exchange phone numbers. We start talking, all just platonic. I ended up, because at the time I was going through, like I said, turbulent relationship. Well, life in general, which included a relationship that I was so on and off with. Finally broke up with my ex-boyfriend. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready to, like, hang out with this Carl guy and see where it goes. So we plan to like meet up at this like bar arcade thing, right? And I had a dream that night that he was going to kiss me. Like, I remember what I was wearing. Well, kind of vaguely what I was wearing. Like, I was wearing like a black top, which I owned a lot of black tops at the time. And what he was wearing, and he was going to be walking me to the car, and he was going to lean in to kiss me. All right, so the next day approaches, and I'm like, what a weird dream, but I felt like that was a vision. I'm like, man, I don't know what's wrong with me, but this has never happened. So I'm over here thinking it's weird, right? Because I'm like, why am I having these visions? So anyway, I didn't think much of it, and then I'm getting ready. The time comes, I'm getting ready, and I, put on this black dress with like these like, with like a white skirt with like black polka dots, which was at the time like, oh shit, I like picked out what I was wearing for my dream. Interesting. Okay, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. So we meet at the bar, this like arcade bar, and we're having a good time. Again, I really had no anticipation that this was like a date. Later on, I would find out this was a date. Because again, I thought I was friend zoned because we had previous conversations and stuff, like, how he really just was going to focus on himself. He wasn't looking for anything serious. And I'm like, okay, this guy's just, living life, I guess, right? Like a mid 20s person does, or late 20s person does. And so I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, whatever. So he's okay. So then we get to food and all the stuff, and we walks me to my car. And again, I did not think this guy had feelings for me at this point. I thought it was friend zoned. I thought we're just gonna be friends, and I was just thinking whatever. Well, he walks me over my car, and he leans in to kiss me just like in my dream. And I freak out. I push him away. He thinks I rejected him. He thought that like, oh my gosh, she doesn't feel the same way. And he drives off and doesn't talk to me for like a week. Granted, now after we discussed this, he admits it was very mature of him. All right, so then months pass by. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. I actually become really good friends with his roommate. And, things start to just seem okay. But really quickly, things do escalate between him and I, and we ended up getting intimate at one point. And this is where crazy Steffany, who's opening her abilities, knows no boundaries, says to him, I think we're going to get married. Look, I know we're going to get married. That is the wildest thing ever. How embarrassing. You're probably like, Steffany, what the hell? I know. Was I desperate? Probably. But I'm the one that married him in the end, so we'll get to that too. So anyway, you guys, I don't know why I said that. I mean, I knew why. It's because I had awoken my third eye, and I knew that was like, I just knew for the first time, I was so sure, like, this is a person I'm meant to be with. And you're probably wondering, did you chase him? Did you, like, what happened? And yeah, I mean, I was friend zoned for 3 years, and it was not easy at all. I think there was moments where we would not talk to each other. There was moments where it was hard. It was one of the hardest things.
And yet in the back of my head, I still felt my clear audience ability that he was still the person I was going to be with.
And towards the very end of those 3 years, I finally just gave up on him and didn't talk to him. And I was like, I went through like a whole deep soul searching of like, okay, I went through the process of developing my skills. I'm learning boundaries. I'm learning self-love again. Because what does that mean after you leave a relationship? Even past, 3 years have passed, but I really spent those years really on the back of my mind questioning that. Like, what does it mean to love myself? And towards the end of all of that, I realized, like, you know what? I choose me at the end of the day. This sucks. Like, I felt like I was right. My intuition was right. And this guy was going to be the person I was going to marry and end up with. And that's just not what happened. It was a tricky thing. But once I loved myself, he came back into my life. And he had a premonition that we were supposed to get married. At this time when he came back into my life, though, I was like, nope. Peace. I don't want to be with you. And he fought for us, and here we are, we got married. So I got these eyelashes because I feel pretty when I wear eyelashes. All right, so the moral of the story, guys, and I can go into further details if you guys have questions, but the moral of what I want to say, and the reason why I'm sharing the story is because while it did pan out, you guys, there's a big, very underlining lesson with all of this. The lesson is that, while we may have gifts, some people call them gifts, abilities is what I like to call them, because I feel like everyone's born with this ability. I think that it's very important to make sure that we have boundaries when we read people, because not everybody is ready to receive a message. Not everyone is ready to be on the same page as you are when it comes to intuition. The way I perceive intuition, right, part of the psychic part of it, is that we are tapping into our higher self. What is our purpose? What are the energy levels? What are the frequency levels that we are at? Just because you are seeing a message, it doesn't mean that you have to give that message every time. So whether you are new to this or starting your journey as a psychic, particularly a psychic, just know that not everybody will accept your message just because you have it. Not everybody will resonate with it. I will do another video on this, you guys, but I also follow this thing called the 4Ds. I don't do readings based on death, disaster, and divorce for a number of reasons. Now, one of the things that I learned and part of my certifications was learning about like karmic and life lessons, karmic ties that we have to learn in this lifetime. So when we are born in this lifetime, we sign up for life lessons that our soul needs to learn in this lifetime. And, it's great having a reading. A reading's supposed to elevate you. It's supposed to guide you. But it's not supposed to give you cheat codes. So by me telling my husband that he was supposed to be my husband when he wasn't ready, he had to learn what it was like for self-love, to be single and heal from that, and also go on this path of learning like his own intuition, because he did spend a lot of time in 3 years, especially towards the last of those 3 years, really owning on his abilities. And now we have a psychic circle here in California, Los Angeles County. So I hope this made sense. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. Happy to answer more.
And if you watched this whole video, you are now part of the Strange family, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys next time.